against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
Can you beat Bloodborne as a first-person shooter? Guns, guns, guns. Big ones, small ones, fire a giant ball ones, Bloodborne's got 'em all. Oh my god, Baron, not another gun run. Don't you know my favourite YouTuber Bobbledy-Boo Bundy Snatch already did this like 27 years ago, you copycat. Fine, let's make it more interesting. This dapper-looking item is the Monocular. FromSoft games always have some version of the see stuff far away item, but Bloodborne's Monocular is the best. It gives you a targeting reticle, you can equip it on your tool belt and operate it independently of your other items, and you can shoot and melee while looking through it. Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. Now, the bad part. Although you can dodge and backstep with the Monocular active, your other movement is restricted to a slow walk. So, for the most part, getting around looks like this.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Playing this way for extended periods of time genuinely left me feeling like this. But that's not the annoying part. You can't lock on, and this is the fastest you can turn around. So, it's great fun when enemies end up behind you. And because your entire view is zoomed in, you have no peripheral vision, can't see the ground beneath your feet, and everything is right up in your face even when it isn't. Genuinely terrifying. But that's not the annoying part. See, the game really doesn't like to be played in this view, to the point where often it just refuses to acknowledge your inputs at all, particularly heals and firing your gun. Yep, that's the annoying part. So, the rules are quite simple. I have to beat all main game and DLC bosses with guns, while having the Monocular equipped at all times, except for situations where the game forces me out of it. I also decided not to use it in areas like the Hunter's Dream to give my eyes a break every now and then. All consumables are allowed, including throwables like Molotovs, since you generally get throwables in an FPS. Visceral attacks aren't allowed. And that's it really. So, if you'd like to join me on a wondrous journey of discovery, that would be lovely. And remember, no Russian. Every good story starts with an old man slipping you some unidentifiable fluids, and this one was no different. I gave myself a suitable name, made myself gorgeous. Why do I look like the white Kanye though? Picked Noble Scion as starter class for the high blood tinge, cosplayed as werewolf food, and woke up in a dream. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. After picking up the hunter pistol, all I needed to do was go and grab the Monocular and... a small problem, but not an insurmountable one. This piece of software is called Save Wizard. It doesn't actually save wizards. What it does do, however, is allow you to amend PS4 save files. So here's how it works. Transfer your file to a USB, open it up in advanced mode in Safe Wizard, and search for this code. This represents the notebook in our inventory, an item you get at the start of the game that will be completely useless on this run. So let's replace it with the Monocular instead. The item code for the Monocular is 40000583. And, because coders are weird, we need to put that thing down, flip it and reverse it to get 83050040, and then overtype these two numbers as follows. Save it, put the USB back into your PlayStation, load up the save, and da-da-da-da! $60 well spent. Time to hit up Yharnam. How I've missed you. As always, my priorities here were as follows. Get enough shards to +2 my gun, as well as some cash money, pick up the drip, die to a dog, meet Eileen for some free bus tickets, get some Madman's knowledge, die to a troll, and grab the music box. You know, the usual. Normally, I'd just run past most things here, but that's really not an option playing like this, so I guess I'd have to do the unthinkable and actually kill everything. Not in my game about killing everything! Only amateurs forget to take their madman's knowledge before going back to the dream, so I didn't do that. I levelled up, +2'd the hunter pistol, and spent my excess on vials. The problem with having to kill everything in Yharnam is I was now low on supplies, and since I'd need supplies to get more supplies, I decided to surprise the wheelchair guy here, because 2 shots always gives back 4 bullets, and then I did the bridge trick. Go here to trigger the patrol, then dip behind this statue and wait for the ball to finish them off. 3 echoes and the chance of drops as well. Not only was this tedious as hell to do over and over, but after a short time the motion sickness was real. So I made the decision to back up my save outside Gascoigne's boss room just so I wouldn't have to repeat the farm each time I died. Because it's kinda hard to play with vomit on your controller. Gascoigne's arena is a pain to move around in this view, but as for the fight itself, it's not too bad because Gascoigne is parryable. While a single gunshot doesn't do much damage at all, you can increase that quite a bit by parrying and then doing a follow-up shot before he recovers. And in phase 2 he's weak to fire, so mollies come in useful. Just keep praying that he doesn't move out of your line of sight. Here's how it went. With Uncle Gazpacho dead, I grabbed the blood gem tool, entered the ward, said hi to my spirit animal, collected all the shards in the area with the church giants, slowly picked my way through all the enemies on the way to Old Yharnam, met Solaire, dude, that's really unnerving, and reached the next lamp. That sign won't stop me, cause I can't read. A Molotov made easy work of the wandering madness for more shards. I returned to the dream to buy Gascoigne's gear for the poison resistance, gemmed my pistol, and levelled up. Cleric Beast was nothing but a minor irritation. Shoot him in the head to get a stagger and unload. Then it's really as simple as keeping distance, firing at him, and making blood bullets as required. Easy peasy Cleric Beasy. The main reason I did that was to unlock the Sword Hunter badge, which in turn would allow me to buy my chosen gun for this run, the Repeating Pistol. Now, this doesn't fire multiple bullets in a row as the name would suggest, but instead fires 2 bullets at the same time. So, although it's less cost effective than other guns, it does do the big boy damage, and I'm a sucker for big boy damage. Gimme that. I probably should have checked the stat requirements first though. After taking a scenic tour of Old Yharnam, which was nice, it was Jura time. Just shoot him as soon as you get to the top of the ladder to knock him... Oh, that's awkward. And that's even more awkward. I almost feel bad for him. After opening everything up and grabbing the ritual blood, I upped my strength so I could wield my new weapon, picked up the rifle spear, which is also technically a gun, not gonna use it though, and shuffled my way to Susie.
The hardest boss in the game.
Ew, did you even brush your teeth today? The blood-starved beast was the hardest boss of this run. No, seriously, here's the evidence. So, here's the thing. The usual cocktails into a corner strat is pointless here, because BSB can be parried. So the best way to do good damage is the parry and follow-up strat. This attack, which she does quite often, is hard to parry in this view, as you can't lock on and have to predict her path to hit her, and if you miss, you'll get clipped. So it's best to play safe and just dodge this. Problem is, this move leaves her behind you, which in phase 1 isn't an issue as she edgewalks a lot, giving you time to slowly turn. But once she moves into phase 2, the most likely outcome is that you'll turn around just in time to become her supper. It didn't help that I'd made the unwise decision that 10 vitality was enough for this fight. Spoiler, it wasn't. Not only that, but remember how I mentioned earlier that sometimes the game just doesn't read your inputs when you're in the monocular view? That started to actually become an issue here, with my gun not firing at times and heals not popping. I died a lot here, so much so that I got fed up and decided to brute force the issue. Bone Marrow Ash is the most important consumable of this or any gun run. After using one, the power of your next bullet from your left-hand weapon is massively increased, and you can carry 10 at a time. It's not widely available at this stage in the game, but you can get 6 by killing the hunter in the square. Did you just walk into a fire and die? 10 out of 10 game. With the Ash, I gambled on being able to finish off phases 2 and 3 much faster. Just gotta get there first. You didn't see that. Next try though, despite a few wobbles, big damage from the Bone Marrow Ash put in some work, probably more work than I put in to be fair, and Susie finally drew her last breath.
The hardest boss in the game.
Remix. Okay, I'll level up HP some more. Happy now? You know what time it is. Gun time. Make sure you're online, enter this glyph at a headstone, walk forward and look this way, drown in a shower of money, rinse and repeat. I would only be using this for restocking bullets, vials and consumables to save on farming time, and would carry on levelling up using only echoes earned from the normal game, as usual. With that all out of the way, I progressed through the Healing Church workshop, got some twin shards from another Wandering Madness, and met the next hardest boss in the game. Yeah. So, there are 2 issues here. First is you can't actually look down to see where you're going. The second is that what you see on screen through the monocular doesn't actually line up with your character model. So, that's fun. After finally making it down, I picked up the doll set, thought the beast possessed soul downstairs, or not, opened up the ward, grabbed more twinsies from behind Calamari Carl over here, picked up some poison knives, sent Ariana off to the chapel, sold the doll set for a ton of cash, plus forward the pistol, levelled up, and gave my bestie a present.
Tell me, Hunter, could this be
A New Year's Day sale at DFS. There's double the discount.
Take me away to a magical place full of joy and wonder and fun. In Yahar'gul, yes, Yahar'gul. It's so cool. In Yahar'gul, you can shoot and grab some loot. In Yahar'gul. Oh, and you probably want to open this door too. For later.
25 blood tinge and a dream. Let's go. At this point, I also made sure to grab the Radiant Sword Hunter badge, which would allow me to buy Bone Marrow Ash at the Dream, and proceeded to Hemwick Charnel Lane. Oh, hi. This place is a gold mine for twin shards. By the time I was done, I had enough for a +6 pistol. So, after stocking up on items, I headed up to the Witch's boss fight. Not much to say here, really. Trigger the fight, mark out, spend all your insight to ensure the witches don't summon, and then shoot them till they just can't take it anymore. Oh my god, you're covered in eyeballs. With the witches quickly dispatched, I treated myself to the room workshop tool and it was onwards to Amelia, picking up some numbing mist on the way, just in case I needed it to interrupt her healing. I didn't. This was also pretty easy. Amelia is fairly straightforward to keep distance from and makes a big target, plus repeated ash shots stagger her quickly. At one point, I think I shot her so hard she forgot where I was. Bless her. She gets confused easily. Here you go, love. Take your meds and have a nap.
We are born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by
The New Year's Day sale at DFS. There's double the discount.
Hi, Eileen. Hi, Alfred. Oh, hi, Patches. I'll take your tonsil stone, though. Thanks. Shadow's up next, which is always a fun time. But what if I told you you can have a +9 weapon for this fight? Here's how.
To the big old town of Yharnam came a hunter one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The hunter there among them had a big iron on his head. Big iron on his head.
Yeah, no worries, pal. Take your time.
It was early in the blood moon when he shuffled into town. He came riding through the nightmare, slowly looking all around. He's a killer loose and running, came the whisper from each lip. And he's hid against some inside with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head.
You look like an avocado. Had sex with an older, more disgusting avocado.
May as well deal with Amy while I'm here. Fortunately, she does have a small weakness to being shot in her ugly almond face after she's finished one of her interdimensional tantrums. And I had enough HP to tank a hit if I got backed into a corner. Good night, my angry little cosmic peach stone. Anyway, where was I? Alright, let's rewind for a sec. You might have noticed that I picked up the Writer Palash back there, and there's a reason for this. When tricked, this turns into a gun, which means you can effectively dual wield the Writer in your right hand and the Repeater in your left. Parrying an enemy with the Writer and immediately following it up with a Bone Marrow Ashed Repeater shot does massive damage, and this would be my go-to against parryable enemies for the remainder of the run. You might have also noticed I didn't pick up the Evelyn from Canehurst. Although this gun does the highest damage per bullet in the game at high blood tinge levels, the repeating pistol still does more per shot. And for now, I didn't think bullets would be an issue. And since I'd already started levelling up the repeater, I made the calculated decision to stick with it for now. Oh my god, Eileen, I'm so sorry, I forgot about you. Don't be mad, please. Oh well, anyway. A +6 Writer and a +9 repeating pistol must mean it's shadows o'clock. Come here, you creepy weirdos. With the shadows derobed, I could press on to Bergenworth. Haha, look, I'm dying for content! Yuri is a pain, so I avoided her by triggering her, hiding under the stairs and letting her de-aggro so I could just go about my business in peace. Just kidding, she must die. I grabbed the white church garb from the woods for its arcane resistance, thanked Willem for his service, and dropped in to greet my favourite mouldy prune and her little army of spiders. I think the collective noun is a clusterfuck. I used my Molotovs to clear out the crowd before unloading on Rom to trigger phase 2, and then it was just a case of staying patient and picking my windows to move in and shoot. I thought the meteor attack might be an issue here, but you can actually dodge it pretty consistently by just spam dodging sideways, and as long as you avoid spiders dive bombing you, this wasn't too bad. Romy Mommy sadly passed away, which made a woman depressed and the moon unusually heavy, and I returned home to enjoy my spoils of war. Great, this place again. I usually run through this section, but that wasn't going to work for this run, so I took my time clearing out all the enemies and bell ladies first, especially in the laser tag area, which would have been a nightmare to get through otherwise. Plenty of chunks for my writer in this area, and I also collected this gem from it from behind this wolf. Great time to run out of bullets. How about another boss? He's big, he's bad, he's... Not much else to say here. Shoot him in his wibbly wobbly body or his big legs until he collapses. I definitely didn't get stuck in a corner and nearly die. Molotovs to finish him off for extra style points. Next, I put Gilbert out of his misery, just because I always do. Gave Fosefka something for her headache. Well, hi there. Gave Patches nothing more than he deserved, and progressed onwards through the nightmare of Mensis. Just coming through, lads. No need to make things awkward. Well, now you've gone and made it awkward. By now, I had enough chunks to get the writer to +9, and it was Miko time. Chase him up the stairs and round the corner, then double back to make him enter the boss room, and phase 1 is pretty simple. You can just keep distance and blast on him. I made sure to hold back at least half my bone marrow ash for phase 2, and that's where the fun begins. I hate this fight almost as much as I love this game, so I'd normally cheese him with poison arrows from the balcony. Small problem, you can't look down enough to be able to hit him with the monocular. Plan B it is then, which is fight him normally. Oh god. Dodging his call beyond isn't an issue if you have space, but his boss room is small, and since you have no peripheral vision, it's easy to get stuck against the sides. And one mistake usually means death, since he'll just spam it at that point. After a few close attempts, I realised something though. I didn't need to fight him in the boss room. If you approach from the right direction, you can keep him in a loop of never entering it. So, you can just blast him with ash shots as you follow him around. And then, he went and did this. Justice at last. You won't be missed. Oh, look, it's
The hardest boss in the game.
Just kidding, this jump is fine, just don't tilt your camera. Now, I just need to get past
The hardest boss in the game.
Thanks, lady. I picked up this gem for my writer, dropped the brain, picked up another good gem and the blood rock. Ooh, love what you've done with the place, guys. Maxed out the repeating pistol, and gemmed up. I figured Wet Nurse would be no problem, and that turned out to be the case. You can keep enough distance to avoid everything except the leap, which you can dodge through, and just keep firing at her. Things got a little hairy in her clones phase, but luckily she only did it once. I sent her back to the job agency, waited about 6 hours for the victory screen, and the nightmare was over. Technically, anyway, since I could just go and submit my life to Gurman and finish the game at this point. But of course, I wasn't going to do that. First, time to take out the trash.
I'm in danger!
With the DLC looming like the blood moon, I figured it was about time I got a better gem for my main gun. Now, the absolute best gems in the game are in Depth 5 FRC chalices, and nobody has time to faff about with that. So here's the next best option for you gun nuts out there. Kill the undead giant and the Watcher's boss in the first Thumaru story chalice to get the root chalice, and then input this glyph. Make your way to this room here in the first side area and kill this Watcher. He has a chance to drop some pretty good blood tinge gems. Durability down is the best curse to get here, since it doesn't affect your gun in the slightest. Now that's what I'm talking about. Whoops, forgot about the cranky old man in the attic. Shouldn't be too hard, just blast him in phase 1 while he stands there, and then abuse the parry strat in phase 2. Kablam! Kapow! Ow, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Okay, can you actually piss off now though? Huh, I guess he took that quite literally.
I prithee, partake of my rotted blood.
Yes, my queen, whatever you say, my queen. Time to quit horsing around and start horsing around, I guess. Now, this is where things start to get tricky again. Ludwig is pretty damn relentless, and in phase 1 particularly, he can end up behind you quite a lot, and we all know how that goes on this run. He can also back you into a corner quite easily, and again, we all know how that goes. Luckily, he does at least provide plenty of sound cues for his attacks. Basically, if he screams like he just got a red hot poker to the gooch, he's about to ruin your whole day. Hope that helps. Phase 2 becomes a little easier, but this attack is quite hard to judge, since your depth perception is screwed. And this took me the most tries of any boss except BSB, but put it all together and you get something like this. You can go away. Shoo. And you can go away. Whoops, forgot the eye pendant. After making sure to pick up Laurence's skull and the church cannon, another gun I had no intention of using, it was time to work my way through the research hall. Nothing worth mentioning here. Of course, you could spend time doing Adeline's tedious brain fluid quest, or you could just shoot her for the balcony key. Not that I needed it. Onwards and upwards to the failures then. A fight that I actually had a few concerns about. Sure, they're normally not very hard, and they can also be parried, which helps. But on the other hand, they have a huge HP pool, and it's almost impossible to keep track of them all, slapping you with their spaghetti arms from off screen. Ultimately, I decided that the safest strat was to use the raised areas to kite them towards me, and then circle around to the other side of the arena and repeat, making the most of the cosmic shower to get in some free damage and replenish blood bullets, and after 6 attempts, I turned them into the dead failures. All together now,
A corpse should be left well alone.
please hurt me, lady. No, not like that, I meant emotionally. Although Maria is parry bait, delayed and missed inputs caused me a few deaths here. And her phase when she switches to the one-handed moveset was particularly annoying, as she'd shoot every time I tried to make blood bullets or take an ash. And then, of course, if she gets behind you once the blood and flame attack starts, then good luck. Wanna see how this went? Alrighty. It looks like the Hamlet is still on dial-up. Still, I'd finally hit 50 blood tinge, which is nice. Scoliosis fishmen? No problem. Purple skull chuckers? Merely a minor irritation. Sharks? Psh! Damn dude, can I just talk to Simon? No manners.
Are you going to kill me?
Yes. Without the irritation of being invaded multiple times, I opened up the rest of the Hamlet, grabbed the Blood Rock, farmed the Winter Lanterns here for some decent gems, bought Maria's set from the Insight Bath, and promptly sold it back to the messengers for a ridiculous amount, and got my writer to +10. Ah yes! Time to go and get smashed at the beach. And not in the fun way. I actually managed to get Orphan pretty low on my first attempt, so maybe this wouldn't be so bad. Yeah. Phase 1 isn't too bad unless you get the RNG where he just constantly runs at you like a maniac. He has a few good parry opportunities here, and given you can do massive damage to him with the Writer and Ash Repeater combo, I wanted to make sure I did the bulk of my damage that way. Problem is, sometimes he'll just constantly spam unparryable stuff over and over, like jumping back and forth over your head again and again, or throwing multiple whatever the hell these things are at you. And that's an issue because Bone Marrow Ash has a time limit of 1 minute, and while that seems like a long time, Orphan would actually regularly go into a loop of giving me 0 parry openings for longer than a minute, meaning I'd just end up wasting Bone Marrow Ash. Phase 2 is the same but more anxiety inducing. He can still be parried, but not if he's screaming and pooping his underwear while leaping around flinging stuff everywhere or attempting a new high jump record. And there was a lot of guesswork involved in dealing with this phase. As a French baker with terrible pronunciation might say, enjoy my pain. My days of shuffling were almost behind me, which was nice because my head was starting to feel like it was full of bees. But unfortunately, like the morning after a particularly spicy curry, I had a big burning a-hole to deal with first. I thought this might be tough. I even considered switching to the Evelyn, but I figured I'd give it a quick go first to figure out the lay of the land. Yeah, turns out this wasn't actually hard at all. And Big Loza was easy to both hit and avoid by keeping distance, punishing any of his slams, and dodging through his forward leaps. Even Phase 3, which I thought might be a bit of a nightmare with the combo of restricted movement and lava everywhere, was actually fairly straightforward. And although I got hit a fair few times, I never once felt like I was actually about to die. See? Perfectly calculated, as my runs always are. Okay, let's end this, I guess. I took some pre-workout, walked menacingly through the obligatory field of flowers, said, "It's Gurman time," and then proceeded to gurm all over Gurman. I have no idea what the hell any of that means, but apparently it was enough for Gurman, since he went ahead and died of cringe. God, I love this cutscene. It does deserve a more epic finish though, so time to break my own rules a little bit. Totally worth it. Good night, sweet papa. Mum says it's my turn to play on the squid box now. The final credits rolled, and it was done. I had beaten Bloodborne as a first-person shooter, and I did it all just so you never have to. But just remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the friends we made along the way who weren't actually friends at all and just wanted to kill us. Yeah.